Okay, continuing on with our series of videos we're doing on real-life use cases in the Preactor scheduling system. We kind of talked about in the other videos, it's one thing to be able to put a schedule together, and then it's another thing to adjust it when all of those things we know are going to happen, right? Like people calling in sick, your material orders are delayed, you got rush orders going in and out of the schedule, you got equipment going down. So we're just doing a couple of quick videos to show you how easy it is to change those things. Same example we used in the other videos. You got the timeline going across the top here, and you've got your resources going down the bottom. We've got about 30 orders, I think, in here. And they're all basically using those operations, those resources to complete their manufacturing. So like this one, for instance, goes through the shear, the bender, the welder, the etcher, the assembly. Those are the operations as it goes through to completion. We can kind of highlight one to take a look at how that looks. Here's this order going through. It goes through the shear, through the bender, through the welder, the etching, and then finally ends up down here at assembly, and that's its completion. So you got a whole bunch of orders basically doing the same thing, competing for those resources. And we got the schedule put together automatically with the Preactor. So the question is, what do you do when someone calls in sick? Well, in this example, all of the operations, with the exception of the welders, are defined by their work center or machine, right? The shearers, the benders, the etchers, and the assembly, those are workstations that it's going through. So the labor is actually handled in the background as a secondary constraint. And we can kind of see what's going on there with this plot window. So we basically have 7 folks working up until the second, and then we drop down to 5. I've already been playing with this and put some sick days in there. But let's just see what happens if we have somebody call in sick for the second. Basically, that's controlled by the secondary calendars, in this case, the metalworker operators. So if you were to click in here on the first and say you have somebody calling in for 3 days, additional people, I guess in this case, calling for 3 days, we're using custom values in this case. So if we say that we've had everybody before people call in sick and adjust that, that'll automatically make that adjustment. Now you go back to the schedule here, and what's that done? Well, it's created a problem here because you don't have folks to create the work that you've got on your schedule. Once you make the adjustment of how many people you got in there, you're going to go up here and repair the schedule. We're going to allow for sequence changes if necessary and go ahead and repair it, and what you'll see is it's gone automatically through there and re-sequenced everything, put them in order to take into account the fact that you've only got 4 people to complete those operations. It's that easy to make adjustments, and that's the real time saving with using a scheduling program versus using an Excel or manually, on a Gantt chart or a scheduling board, is being able to adapt these things and make these changes and instantaneously push your schedule back out to the floor, so it can get completed. It's just that easy.